Imagine standing at the eastern edge of Lombok Island just before sunrise. The first rays of light slowly rise above the horizon, painting the sky with brilliant shades of gold, orange and crimson. Gentle waves roll toward untouched coastlines, while cool mountain air drifts down from towering volcanic peaks. Villages begin to awaken as farmers prepare their fields. Fishermen set sail into open waters, and the unmistakable silhouette of Mount Rinjani dominates the northern skyline. This is not simply another destination on the map of Indonesia. This is East Lombok, a land where extraordinary landscapes and resilient communities have existed side by side for centuries. Many travelers know East Lombok only as the gateway to Sembalun and Mount Rinjani. They arrive with dreams of conquering Indonesia's second highest volcano, capturing breathtaking photographs and witnessing one of Southeast Asia's most spectacular sunrises. Yet those who only pass through never discover the true story hidden behind this remarkable region. East Lombok is far more than an entry point to an iconic mountain. It is one of the largest and most geographically diverse regencies in the province of West Nusa Tenggara. The administrative capital is the bustling town of Selong, a growing centre of education, commerce and government that serves more than 1 million residents spread across coastal villages, fertile plains, rolling hills and rugged mountain landscapes. Covering approximately 1,230 square kilometres of land, according to administrative records, and extending to nearly 2,680 square kilometres when its surrounding marine territory is included, East Lombok possesses one of the richest combinations of terrestrial and ocean ecosystems found anywhere in Indonesia. Around 1,605 square kilometres consist of land, while more than 1,070 square kilometres are covered by surrounding seas that continue to sustain countless fishing communities and diverse marine habitats. Its strategic position has shaped its identity for generations. To the north lies the vast Flores Sea, whose calm waters connect Lombok with islands stretching toward eastern Indonesia. To the south, the powerful Indian Ocean crashes against dramatic coastlines, bringing seasonal waves that have sculpted cliffs and beaches over thousands of years. To the east, the Alas Strait separates Lombok from neighbouring Sumbawa Island, creating one of the most important maritime corridors in the region. Meanwhile, to the west, East Lombok shares its borders with Central Lombok and West Lombok, linking together the island's major economic and transportation routes. This unique geographical position places East Lombok at the crossroads of nature, trade and culture. For centuries, people travelling between islands have passed through these waters. Fishermen have relied upon seasonal currents. Farmers have adapted to changing weather patterns. Entire communities have learned to live in harmony with both the mountains above and the ocean surrounding them. What makes East Lombok truly extraordinary is its incredible range of elevations. The land begins at sea level, where tropical beaches meet warm turquoise waters, and rises dramatically to an astonishing 3,726 meters above sea level at the summit of Mount Rinjani. Few regions in Indonesia offer such an extreme transformation within a relatively short distance. This dramatic elevation creates an equally dramatic variety of landscapes. Along much of the northern, eastern and southern coastline, broad coastal plains stretch toward the sea with gentle slopes between 0 and 2%. These lowlands have long supported agriculture, fisheries and growing settlements where generations of families continue traditions passed down over centuries. Further inland, the terrain gradually changes. Rolling hills and fertile valleys dominate much of the Regency, with land slopes ranging between 2 and 15%. This zone represents the largest topographical area within East Lombok and has become the agricultural heartland of the region. Here, rice paddies shimmer beneath the tropical sun, cornfields sway with seasonal winds, and countless plantations contribute to local livelihoods. As travelers continue northward, the landscape becomes increasingly dramatic. Hills transform into steep volcanic ridges. Dense forests replace cultivated fields. Cool temperatures replace the tropical warmth of the coast. Eventually, towering above everything else, stands the magnificent Mount Rinjani. The mountain is not simply a landmark, it is the defining force that has shaped East Lombok's geography, climate, biodiversity, and even its cultural identity. Every stream flowing down its slopes carries life to villages below. Every season reflects its influence. Every generation has lived beneath its towering presence, respecting both its beauty and its immense power. Steeper terrain with slopes ranging from 15 to 40% occupy significant portions of the northern highlands, while the most rugged areas exceed 40%, forming the volcanic landscapes surrounding Rinjani National Park. These regions remain among Indonesia's most valuable ecological treasures, protecting native forests, endemic wildlife, and essential water sources that sustain communities far beyond East Lombok itself. The diversity of the land also creates remarkable ecological contrasts. Within a single day, visitors can begin their morning walking across white sand beaches, spend the afternoon exploring lush mountain forests, and finish the evening overlooking volcanic landscapes bathed in the colors of sunset. Very few destinations in Southeast Asia offer such an extraordinary transition between marine and alpine environments in such close proximity. Nature has written an extraordinary story across every corner of East Lombok. Every valley reveals evidence of ancient volcanic activity. Every hillside reflects centuries of adaptation between humans and the environment. Every coastline tells stories of fishermen who have navigated these waters for generations, guided by stars long before modern technology existed. Perhaps this is why East Lombok leaves such a lasting impression on those willing to look beyond the obvious. It is not simply the beauty that captivates visitors, it is the realization that every mountain, every river, every village, and every shoreline forms part of a much larger living landscape that continues to evolve while preserving traditions deeply rooted in history. And as the journey continues deeper into East Lombok, its rivers, volcanic crater lake, changing climate, and the remarkable relationship between nature and its people reveal an even more fascinating story waiting to be discovered. Water is the lifeblood of East Lombok, and nowhere is that truth more evident than in the countless rivers that weave through its valleys and lowlands. Some flow with steady strength throughout the year, while others awaken only during the rainy season, transforming dry channels into rushing currents that nourish farmland and replenish groundwater. Together, these waterways have sustained human settlement for generations, providing fresh water for agriculture, livestock, fisheries, and daily life. Unlike many regions blessed with numerous lakes, East Lombok possesses only one natural lake of extraordinary significance. Hidden high within the volcanic heart of Mount Rinjani lies Segara Anak, one of Indonesia's most breathtaking crater lakes. Its name means "child of the sea," a fitting description for a lake whose deep blue waters resemble the ocean despite resting thousands of meters above sea level. Covering approximately 30 square kilometers with depths reaching nearly 200 meters, Segara Anak is far more than a spectacular natural attraction. It is the result of one of nature's most powerful geological processes. Thousands of years ago, massive volcanic eruptions reshaped the landscape of Lombok, creating an enormous caldera that gradually filled with crystal clear water. Today, the lake rests peacefully within the crater of Mount Rinjani, surrounded by towering volcanic walls that rise dramatically toward the sky. For scientists, Segara Anak offers valuable insight into volcanic activity and ecological evolution. For hikers, reaching its shores represents one of Southeast Asia's greatest trekking achievements. For local communities, however, the lake carries a meaning that goes far beyond science or adventure. For generations, the Sasak people have regarded Segara Anak as a sacred place where nature and spirituality exist together in harmony. Traditional ceremonies continue to honor the mountain and the lake, expressing gratitude for the water, fertile soil, and abundant harvests that sustain life throughout East Lombok. These traditions remind us that long before environmental conservation became a global conversation, local communities already understood the importance of respecting the balance between humanity and nature. The influence of Mount Rinjani extends far beyond its crater lake. Its forests capture rain clouds, its volcanic slopes store groundwater, and its countless springs feed rivers flowing toward villages scattered across the Regency. Every drop of water descending from the mountain becomes part of a cycle that supports agriculture across vast stretches of East Lombok. Rice fields flourish because mountain streams continue to flow. Fruit orchards thrive because volcanic soils retain precious moisture. Entire communities owe their livelihoods to a natural system that has quietly sustained life for countless generations. This relationship between mountain and sea creates one of the most fascinating environmental gradients in Indonesia. Steeper terrain with slopes ranging from 15 to 40% occupy significant portions of the northern highlands, while the most rugged areas exceed 40%, forming the volcanic landscapes surrounding Rinjani National Park. These regions remain among Indonesia's most valuable ecological treasures, protecting native forests, endemic wildlife, and essential water sources that sustain communities far beyond East Lombok itself. The diversity of the land also creates remarkable ecological contrasts. Within a single day, visitors can begin their morning walking across white sand beaches, spend the afternoon exploring lush mountain forests, and finish the evening overlooking volcanic landscapes bathed in the colors of sunset. Very few destinations in Southeast Asia offer such an extraordinary transition between marine and alpine environments in such close proximity. Nature has written an extraordinary story across every corner of East Lombok. Every valley reveals evidence of ancient volcanic activity. Every hillside reflects centuries of adaptation between humans and the environment. Every coastline tells stories of fishermen who have navigated these waters for generations, guided by stars long before modern technology existed. Perhaps this is why East Lombok leaves such a lasting impression on those willing to look beyond the obvious. It is not simply the beauty that captivates visitors, it is the realization that every mountain, every river, every village, and every shoreline forms part of a much larger living landscape that continues to evolve while preserving traditions deeply rooted in history. And as the journey continues deeper into East Lombok, its rivers, volcanic crater lake, changing climate, and the remarkable relationship between nature and its people reveal an even more fascinating story waiting to be discovered. Water is the lifeblood of East Lombok, and nowhere is that truth more evident than in the countless rivers that weave through its valleys and lowlands. Some flow with steady strength throughout the year, while others awaken only during the rainy season, transforming dry channels into rushing currents that nourish farmland and replenish groundwater. Together, these waterways have sustained human settlement for generations, providing fresh water for agriculture, livestock, fisheries, and daily life. Unlike many regions blessed with numerous lakes, East Lombok possesses only one natural lake of extraordinary significance. Hidden high within the volcanic heart of Mount Rinjani lies Segara Anak, one of Indonesia's most breathtaking crater lakes. Its name means "child of the sea," a fitting description for a lake whose deep blue waters resemble the ocean despite resting thousands of meters above sea level. Covering approximately 30 square kilometers with depths reaching nearly 200 meters, Segara Anak is far more than a spectacular natural attraction. It is the result of one of nature's most powerful geological processes. Thousands of years ago, massive volcanic eruptions reshaped the landscape of Lombok, creating an enormous caldera that gradually filled with crystal-clear water. Today, the lake rests peacefully within the crater of Mount Rinjani, surrounded by towering volcanic walls that rise dramatically toward the sky. For scientists, Segara Anak offers valuable insight into volcanic activity and ecological evolution. For hikers, reaching its shores represents one of Southeast Asia's greatest trekking achievements. For local communities, however, the lake carries a meaning that goes far beyond science or adventure. For generations, the Sasak people have regarded Segara Anak as a sacred place where nature and spirituality exist together in harmony. Traditional ceremonies continue to honor the mountain and the lake, expressing gratitude for the water, fertile soil, and abundant harvests that sustain life throughout East Lombok. These traditions remind us that long before environmental conservation became a global conversation, local communities already understood the importance of respecting the balance between humanity and nature. The influence of Mount Rinjani extends far beyond its crater lake. Its forests capture rain clouds, its volcanic slopes store groundwater, and its countless springs feed rivers flowing toward villages scattered across the Regency. Every drop of water descending from the mountain becomes part of a cycle that supports agriculture across vast stretches of East Lombok. Rice fields flourish because mountain streams continue to flow. Fruit orchards thrive because volcanic soils retain precious moisture. Entire communities owe their livelihoods to a natural system that has quietly sustained life for countless generations. This relationship between mountain and sea creates one of the most fascinating environmental gradients in Indonesia. At sea level, temperatures remain warm throughout the year. Palm trees sway gently in the coastal breeze, while fishing boats depart before dawn to harvest the surrounding waters. Just a few hours away in the northern highlands, however, the atmosphere changes completely. Crisp mountain air replaces tropical heat. Morning mist blankets valleys before sunlight slowly reveals forests climbing toward the volcanic summit. East Lombok experiences a tropical wet and dry climate characterized by two distinct seasons. The dry season generally lasts from May until October, bringing sunny skies, lower humidity, and ideal conditions for agriculture, outdoor activities, and mountain trekking. During these months, landscapes gradually shift from vibrant green to golden brown as rainfall becomes increasingly scarce. The rainy season usually begins in November and continues through April. January is typically the wettest month, when monthly rainfall often exceeds 200 millimeters. During this period, rivers swell with fresh water, reservoirs refill, forests regain their lush appearance, and agricultural lands prepare for another productive growing cycle. Annual rainfall generally ranges between 900 and 1800 millimeters, while the region experiences approximately 70 to 150 rainy days each year. Although these numbers may appear to be simple climate statistics, they represent something much more meaningful for the people who call East Lombok home. Every rainy season brings hope for abundant harvests. Every dry season demands careful planning and resilience. Farmers closely observe changing weather patterns before planting rice, corn, vegetables, and other essential crops. Fishermen adjust their schedules according to shifting winds and ocean conditions. Families have learned through generations of experience to adapt their daily lives to the rhythm of nature rather than attempting to control it. Temperatures throughout East Lombok generally range from around 20 degrees Celsius during the coolest periods to approximately 33 degrees Celsius during the warmest months. Relative humidity typically remains between 70 and 82%, creating the warm tropical atmosphere that defines much of the island. Yet despite these tropical conditions, East Lombok never feels like a place with only one climate. A traveler can spend the morning enjoying sunshine along the coast, experience cool breezes while driving through elevated farmland in the afternoon, and find themselves wearing a jacket by evening while camping near Mount Rinjani's upper slopes. This remarkable climatic diversity supports an equally remarkable diversity of life. Dense tropical forests shelter countless species of birds, insects, reptiles, and mammals. Fertile agricultural lands produce rice, maize, tobacco, vegetables, fruits, and other crops that contribute significantly to the local economy. Coral reefs beneath surrounding seas provide habitat for colorful marine life, supporting both biodiversity and traditional fishing communities. Every ecosystem is connected. Rain falling on mountain forests eventually reaches coastal villages. Healthy rivers nourish fertile fields. Mangrove forests protect shorelines from erosion. Coral reefs support fisheries that feed thousands of families. Remove one piece from this delicate balance, and the consequences ripple across the entire landscape. Perhaps that is one of East Lombok's greatest lessons. Nature is not a collection of separate places. The mountains, rivers, forests, lakes, farmland, and oceans are chapters of the same story. They depend upon one another just as the people who live here depend upon them. For centuries, this balance has shaped not only the physical landscape, but also the character of its people. Resilience, patience, gratitude, and respect for nature are not abstract ideals here. They are practical values learned through everyday life beneath the shadow of one of Indonesia's most magnificent volcanoes. And beyond its breathtaking landscapes lies another treasure that cannot be measured by maps or climate records alone. It lives in the culture, traditions, hospitality, and enduring spirit of the people who have transformed East Lombok into far more than a place. They have made it a living legacy that continues to inspire everyone fortunate enough to experience it. The true strength of East Lombok cannot be measured only by its mountains, coastlines, or fertile valleys. Its greatest treasure has always been its people. Long before roads connected distant villages and modern technology transformed communication, generations of families built thriving communities through resilience, cooperation, and an unwavering respect for both tradition and nature. Across the Regency, life begins long before the sun appears above the horizon. As the first light spreads across the sky, the rhythmic sounds of daily life slowly emerge. Farmers make their way toward rice fields still covered with morning dew. Fishermen prepare their boats before the sea awakens with stronger winds. Market vendors arrange baskets overflowing with fresh vegetables, tropical fruits, spices, and locally harvested seafood. Children begin their journey to school, while elders gather outside their homes, exchanging stories that have connected neighbors for decades. These simple routines may appear ordinary to those who live here, yet together they create an extraordinary picture of a society deeply connected to the land that sustains it. East Lombok is home primarily to the Sasak people, the indigenous inhabitants of Lombok Island, whose history stretches back hundreds of years. Their traditions remain visible not only during cultural festivals, but also in everyday life. Respect for elders, strong family bonds, communal cooperation, and mutual assistance continue to shape villages across the region. One of the most remarkable values preserved within Sasak society is the spirit of working together for the common good. Throughout Indonesia, this principle is known as gotong royong, but in East Lombok, it is more than a familiar phrase. It is a living tradition. When a family builds a house, neighbors often arrive without expecting payment, offering their labor simply because helping one another is considered a shared responsibility. When harvest season arrives, entire communities work side by side in the fields. When celebrations take place, everyone contributes according to their abilities. And when hardship strikes, villages unite with remarkable compassion, proving that true wealth is measured not only by possessions, but by the strength of human relationships. This collective spirit has allowed communities to endure challenges that might otherwise seem overwhelming. Living beneath an active volcano requires courage. Living beside powerful oceans requires adaptability. Living in a tropical climate with alternating wet and dry seasons requires patience and careful planning. Generation after generation, the people of East Lombok have learned that survival depends not on conquering nature, but on understanding it. Agriculture continues to serve as one of the region's economic foundations. The fertile volcanic soils, enriched over thousands of years, support extensive cultivation of rice, corn, vegetables, chilies, peanuts, cassava, tobacco, and various fruits. During planting season, vast stretches of farmland transform into brilliant shades of green that seem to extend endlessly toward the horizon. For many families, farming is not simply an occupation inherited from previous generations. It represents a lifelong partnership with the land. Every harvest tells a story of months spent preparing fields beneath the tropical sun, a story of watching the sky, hoping rainfall arrives at the right moment, a story of perseverance through droughts, storms, and unpredictable weather. Every successful harvest is both an economic achievement and a celebration of resilience. Along the coast, another story unfolds. Fishing communities have depended upon the surrounding seas for centuries. Before sunrise, colorful wooden boats leave sheltered harbors and sail toward productive fishing grounds across the Flores Sea, the Alas Strait, and the Indian Ocean. The ocean provides tuna, mackerel, squid, reef fish, and countless other species that support local markets while contributing to regional food security. Yet fishing here has never been merely about catching seafood. It demands deep knowledge of tides, ocean currents, seasonal winds, lunar cycles, and weather patterns passed from one generation to the next. Many fishermen can read subtle changes in the color of the water or the movement of clouds with astonishing accuracy, skills developed through decades of experience rather than textbooks. These traditional forms of knowledge remain invaluable even in an age dominated by satellites and digital forecasting. Meanwhile, East Lombok's strategic location has also encouraged growing opportunities in trade, tourism, transportation, education, and small industries. Selong, the administrative capital, has gradually evolved into a dynamic urban center where traditional markets exist alongside modern businesses, educational institutions, healthcare facilities, and expanding commercial districts. Road networks now connect communities that were once separated by difficult terrain, allowing agricultural products to reach wider markets while giving visitors greater access to the region's extraordinary natural attractions. Tourism has become an increasingly important pillar of East Lombok's economy. Most international travellers recognise the Regency because of Sembalun, the picturesque highland district that serves as one of the primary gateways to Mount Rinjani National Park. Nestled within a vast volcanic valley, Sembalun offers breathtaking scenery unlike anywhere else in Indonesia. Rolling grasslands stretch toward towering mountains. Vegetable farms blanket fertile slopes. Morning fog drifts gently across the valley before sunlight illuminates fields that appear almost unreal in their beauty. For thousands of climbers every year, Sembalun marks the beginning of an unforgettable journey toward the summit of Mount Rinjani. The climb is physically demanding. Steep trails test endurance. Rapid changes in altitude challenge even experienced hikers. Yet every difficult step is rewarded with increasingly spectacular views. Dense tropical forests gradually give way to open savannas. Savannas transform into rugged volcanic terrain. Eventually, above the clouds, climbers witness landscapes that seem almost untouched by time. Standing high on Rinjani's slopes, it becomes impossible not to appreciate the immense scale of East Lombok. From this vantage point, coastlines shimmer in the distance. Villages appear as tiny clusters surrounded by fields. The surrounding seas blend seamlessly with the horizon. Neighbouring islands emerge through morning mist. The sheer diversity of the landscape becomes breathtakingly clear. Few places on Earth allow visitors to experience such dramatic contrasts within a single region. This is why East Lombok continues to attract not only adventurers, but also photographers, researchers, environmental scientists, geologists, conservationists, and travellers searching for authentic cultural experiences. Each visitor arrives for a different reason. Some seek adventure, some seek peace, some seek knowledge, some seek beauty. Yet almost everyone leaves carrying something far more valuable than photographs. They leave with a deeper understanding of how people and nature can coexist through mutual respect. Because East Lombok reminds us that progress does not require abandoning tradition. Modern development and cultural heritage can move forward together. Economic growth and environmental conservation do not have to be opposing forces. When communities protect their forests, rivers, oceans, and cultural identity, they are also protecting opportunities for future generations. That may be East Lombok's greatest achievement, not simply preserving breathtaking landscapes, but preserving a way of life that continues to teach lessons about resilience, sustainability, unity, and hope in an increasingly fast-changing world. And perhaps the most extraordinary chapter of East Lombok's story is still waiting to be written, as a new generation rises beneath the same mountains, walks the same fertile valleys, and looks toward the same endless horizons with dreams as vast as the island itself. Every generation inherits two choices. The first is to consume everything left behind without thinking about tomorrow. The second is to become a guardian of the future. East Lombok stands today because countless generations chose the second path. They protected forests long before environmental laws existed. They respected rivers before anyone spoke about water conservation. They cultivated fertile land without forgetting that the soil itself was a gift that needed to be preserved. They understood something that modern civilization is only beginning to rediscover. Nature is not an unlimited resource. It is an inheritance. Every towering tree on the slopes of Mount Rinjani quietly performs work that no machine can replace. Its roots stabilize fragile volcanic soil, preventing landslides during the rainy season. Its leaves absorb carbon dioxide while releasing the oxygen that every living creature depends upon. Beneath its canopy, rainwater slowly seeps into the earth, replenishing underground aquifers that eventually feed rivers flowing through East Lombok. Without these forests, the entire landscape would change. Streams that once flowed throughout the year could become seasonal. Agricultural productivity would decline. Wildlife would lose its habitat. Communities that have depended on mountain water for centuries would face increasing uncertainty. This is why the forests surrounding Mount Rinjani are among Indonesia's most valuable natural assets. They are not simply beautiful landscapes, they are living infrastructure. Their value cannot be measured only through tourism revenue or timber resources. Their greatest contribution is invisible. Every day they quietly provide clean water, cleaner air, climate regulation, biodiversity, and ecological stability that benefit millions of people far beyond East Lombok itself. The same can be said for the surrounding seas. The waters bordering East Lombok are home to vibrant coral reef ecosystems that support countless marine species. These reefs act as underwater cities, where fish reproduce, juvenile marine life finds shelter, and complex food chains remain balanced. Healthy coral reefs also serve another critical purpose. They protect coastlines. When large waves travel across the ocean, coral formations absorb much of their destructive energy before it reaches shore. Without them, coastal erosion becomes more severe, threatening villages, beaches, and valuable ecosystems. Yet coral reefs are among the world's most fragile environments. Increasing ocean temperatures, pollution, destructive fishing practices, and careless tourism can damage ecosystems that require decades or even centuries to recover. Protecting these reefs is therefore not only an environmental responsibility, it is an economic necessity. Thousands of families depend directly or indirectly on healthy marine ecosystems through fishing, tourism, transportation, and local businesses. East Lombok demonstrates that prosperity and conservation are deeply connected. Destroy one, and eventually the other suffers. Protect one, and both can flourish together. This philosophy becomes even more meaningful when viewed through the lens of climate. East Lombok experiences a tropical environment shaped by seasonal rainfall and changing wind patterns. During the wet months, rivers swell, reservoirs refill, and agricultural lands receive the water they need for successful harvests. During the dry season, however, careful resource management becomes essential. Water stored during the rainy months sustains crops through periods of lower rainfall. Communities adapt their planting schedules according to seasonal conditions. Farmers carefully choose crops that match local climate patterns. This remarkable adaptability reflects centuries of accumulated knowledge. Long before satellite weather forecasts and modern climate models existed, local communities had already developed sophisticated understanding of seasonal cycles through direct observation of nature. That wisdom remains valuable today. In fact, combining traditional ecological knowledge with modern science offers one of the strongest foundations for sustainable development. East Lombok's future will not depend solely upon new roads, larger buildings, or expanding industries. Its future will depend upon balance between development and conservation, balance between economic growth and environmental protection, balance between embracing innovation while honoring cultural identity. These are not easy challenges. Population growth increases demand for housing, infrastructure, education, healthcare, transportation, and employment. Tourism creates new opportunities while also placing greater pressure on fragile ecosystems. Agricultural expansion must coexist with watershed protection. Marine resources must be harvested responsibly to ensure future generations can benefit from them as well. These challenges are shared by many regions across the world. What makes East Lombok remarkable is that it already possesses many of the ingredients needed for long-term success. Rich natural resources, strategic geographic location, fertile volcanic soils, strong cultural traditions, resilient communities, growing educational opportunities, expanding infrastructure, and perhaps most importantly, a population that has spent generations learning how to live alongside one of nature's most powerful landscapes. There is a saying that mountains shape the people who live beneath them. If that is true, then Mount Rinjani has shaped generations of remarkable individuals. Living in its shadow teaches humility. No matter how advanced human civilization becomes, nature always reminds us that some forces remain greater than ourselves. Its volcanic history reminds us that destruction and creation often exist together. Ancient eruptions once transformed this landscape through unimaginable power. Yet those same eruptions also produced the fertile soils that now support agriculture across much of East Lombok. What once appeared catastrophic eventually became the foundation of new life. There is a profound lesson hidden within that transformation. Adversity does not always represent an ending. Sometimes it creates the conditions for an even greater beginning. Perhaps that is why the people of East Lombok have developed such extraordinary resilience. They understand that difficult seasons eventually give way to better ones, that storms are temporary, that droughts eventually end, that every sunrise over the mountains offers another opportunity to begin again. This optimism can be felt throughout the region. It lives in the determination of students pursuing higher education. It lives in entrepreneurs creating opportunities for local communities. It lives in farmers preparing fields before the arrival of the rainy season. It lives in fishermen launching their boats before dawn, trusting both experience and hope. It lives in families who continue passing their traditions, language, values, and stories to the next generation. Because in the end, East Lombok is not simply defined by its geography. It is defined by the character of the people who transform mountains into homes, rivers into lifelines, fields into harvests, and challenges into opportunities. That is the true legacy of East Lombok, not merely surviving, but continuing to grow with dignity, resilience, wisdom, and an enduring belief that the greatest treasures are never measured only by what lies beneath the ground or within the sea, but by the strength of the people who call this extraordinary corner of Indonesia home. As the sun slowly disappears beyond the western horizon, a quiet transformation begins across East Lombok. Golden light washes over endless rice fields before fading into shades of amber and deep violet. Fishing boats return from the sea carrying the day's catch. Smoke rises gently from village kitchens as families gather once again around the dinner table. Children laugh in narrow village streets while the evening call to prayer echoes from mosques across towns and rural communities alike. Above it all, Mount Rinjani remains perfectly still. Its silhouette stands against the twilight sky, exactly as it has for thousands of years. Empires have risen and fallen, generations have come and gone. Technology has changed the world in ways unimaginable only a century ago. Yet Rinjani continues to watch over East Lombok with silent strength, reminding everyone that nature measures time differently from humanity. Perhaps this is why so many people who visit East Lombok speak not only about what they saw, but about what they felt. They remember the cool mountain breeze before sunrise. They remember the kindness of strangers who welcomed them like family. They remember the peaceful rhythm of village life. They remember standing above the clouds, realizing how incredibly vast and beautiful Indonesia truly is. Some places impress us, others transform us. East Lombok has the rare ability to do both. It teaches patience through the slow rhythm of agriculture. It teaches courage through the demanding ascent of Mount Rinjani. It teaches gratitude through every river that nourishes the land. It teaches humility through landscapes far greater than ourselves. Most importantly, it teaches perspective. In today's fast-moving world, people often believe that happiness lies in constant speed, more work, more possessions, more achievements, more distractions. Yet East Lombok quietly offers a different lesson. Sometimes fulfillment is found by slowing down, by watching the sunrise instead of the screen, by listening to the sound of flowing water instead of endless notifications, by sharing meals with family instead of rushing toward the next destination, by recognizing that life's greatest moments are often the simplest ones. This philosophy has shaped generations of people who understand that success is not measured only by economic growth, but also by the health of the forests, the clarity of rivers, the fertility of the soil, the abundance of the sea, and the strength of the community. It is a reminder that prosperity becomes meaningful only when it can be passed on to future generations. The future of East Lombok will undoubtedly continue to evolve. New roads will connect more communities. Technology will transform education and business. Tourism will introduce this remarkable region to even more people from around the world. Young entrepreneurs will create new opportunities. Students will return home carrying fresh ideas after studying in Indonesia's major cities and abroad. Innovation will continue to reshape daily life. But amid all of these changes, one hope remains constant: that East Lombok never loses the qualities that make it truly extraordinary. Its authenticity, its generosity, its cultural heritage, its breathtaking natural beauty, its respect for harmony between humanity and the environment. Because once those values disappear, they cannot easily be rebuilt. Protecting East Lombok is therefore not solely the responsibility of governments, scientists, conservationists, or local communities. It is a shared responsibility. Every visitor who chooses responsible tourism contributes to its future. Every traveler who respects local customs helps preserve its culture. Every effort to reduce pollution protects its rivers and oceans. Every tree planted strengthens the landscape for generations yet to come. Every child taught to appreciate nature becomes another guardian of this extraordinary place. The story of East Lombok is still being written. Every sunrise adds another page. Every harvest begins another chapter. Every family contributes another sentence. Every generation leaves behind another legacy. Perhaps one day, decades from now, another traveler will stand on the slopes of Mount Rinjani and gaze across the same valleys, forests, villages and coastlines. The question is simple: what kind of East Lombok will they inherit? Will they still hear rivers flowing freely from protected forests? Will they still witness healthy coral reefs beneath crystal clear waters? Will they still experience the warmth of Sasak hospitality? Will they still marvel at fertile green valleys stretching toward the sea? The answer depends on the choices made today, because the greatest inheritance we can leave behind is not wealth alone. It is a world that remains beautiful enough to inspire those who come after us. East Lombok is more than a regency in eastern Lombok Island. It is a living testament to Indonesia's extraordinary natural diversity. It is where towering volcanoes meet fertile plains, where ancient traditions continue alongside modern aspirations, where mountains feed rivers, rivers nourish fields, and fields sustain communities, where every sunrise tells a story of hope, where every sunset whispers gratitude, and where every journey becomes a reminder that the true beauty of a place is never found only in its landscapes. It is found in its people. It is found in their resilience. It is found in their dreams. It is found in their determination to preserve what generations before them worked so hard to protect. So whenever someone asks where the soul of Indonesia can truly be felt, remember this remarkable corner of the archipelago. Remember the mountain that touches the sky. Remember the lake hidden within a volcanic crater. Remember the rivers that carry life from the highlands to the sea. Remember the farmers, the fishermen, the families, the children, and the elders whose lives continue to shape this land with quiet dignity. Because East Lombok is not simply a destination you visit, it is a story you experience, a lesson you carry, a memory you never forget. And long after you leave its shores, long after the mountains disappear beyond the horizon, one truth remains. Some places change the way you see the world. East Lombok changes the way you appreciate it. That is the enduring spirit of East Lombok, a place where nature inspires greatness, culture strengthens identity, resilience defines its people, and hope continues to rise with every new dawn over one of Indonesia's most extraordinary landscapes.